All right, all right. Welcome everybody to a brand new year. It's your boys from Humble and Hungry, aka the Humblist here. My name is Dante. You can see my handle right there, Mr. Edward Nigma, on all social medias. And I'm joined, as always, by my boy, my man, Vivek. How you doing, V?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back. I think it's been a long hiatus,
Been.
but like I was telling you before, it's a great way to start the new year with an impromptu episode.
Yeah,
And I guess it won't be impromptu when the people get it
I
because
guess. And like, is this even an episode? I mean, V and I were bantering before the show started about what is this, and we decided that it might be just a little bit of a behind the scenes look before we start producing actual content that we're working on. Just to give people an update on where we're at, where we've been, where we're going, and sort of what's new. So,
yeah,
V,
and
man, I got to
since
start. Like, first thing that jumps off the page, man, you look completely different with your short hair. You look good. How do you
oh,
like it?
thank you. Yeah, the viewers and listeners. I wonder if it transfers over to audio. My haircut. It might. So if you're not watching this and you're hearing this, do you hear my haircut? Is the question.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
for the rest of you, yeah, I definitely went with a makeover, and it was really out of necessity to chop the locks. It was really long, and because my skin was really irritated, it was really hard to manage.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of fun now. I get to cut my own hair, shave my own head.
Yeah.
Got new
How,
gear
how
for
long
that
were
as
you
well.
growing it? How long were you growing it to get it as long as you was?
Yeah, about 4 years, I think, like 4 years. Yeah. And like, which was good in the
Significant.
pandemic because it's like, oh, you can just say, oh, I'm just growing my hair. It's just my look. But eventually it
Yeah.
runs its course. It runs its course. So I
Uh,
really am enjoying having short hair.
yeah.
And it's the only thing is like a little bit of upkeep here and there. And, like, but yeah, it's not a
What
big
else
deal.
are you gonna do all day? It's a pandemic. But I think
Yeah.
that you look good. You look fresh. You actually
Thank
look
you.
a little like you're. I don't want to say you're putting on weight, but you look a little thicker too.
Yeah.
Is this to say, suggest, or presume that you're kind of on a positive tip with the health?
Yeah, like definitely going in the right direction for sure. I just had an osteopath
Perfect.
session. Shout outs to Darshell and Health and Hands, Nikki,
Nikki, I
Lindsay,
see
all
you,
the
Nikki.
peeps. Yeah, it was really a nice thing that I was in the back of my head that I wanted to do an osteopath session for years, but I just knew it was just like with everything else in my life and with art and everything has its right time. And I found, that was the right time to do it. And so I just went for the session before Christmas. And now because of the way lockdown is and everything, I don't know. I'm supposed to go for a follow up and just to like deal with the migraines. But yeah, I'm feeling great about it. And yeah, I appreciate it. And like, it's just incremental steps, like that's the
Sure.
whole thing behind my music and Humble and Hungry. So it just makes sense that that's what's happening.
Absolutely. Well, before we get into it, I guess I'll give a little bit of insight on my end too. I mean, like I'm still grinding away where I'm at the front lines, and I got to be honest, Pete, like this is really wearing down on me. This last little run here, I'm tired of it. I still haven't had a Christmas. I haven't been able to celebrate my birthday over the break with my family, and I'm just really
Happy
kind of
belated
sick.
birthday to Dante, which was
Thanks.
only last week, but it feels like years
It
ago,
feels like it feels
like
so long ago.
Christmas. So
You're
weird
absolutely
how
right.
things time is a effery. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that. Thank you, by the way. That I think that us kind of getting back into this and you kind of feeling very creative on this creative tip, I think it is going to help me personally with my own mental health to try to kind of break a little bit of a rut that I was in, the Christmas blues type of thing, and try to refocus some energy into different things more creative. And that was one of my resolutions is try to be more creative on a month to month basis and more consistent. And I know you and I have talked a lot about consistency and bringing out content on a consistent factor and how do we keep ourselves relevant throughout the year. So just a little insight on this sort of difficult holiday season. for me, So I am happy that it's a change in the year, and working my way through this rut, and let's go create some new things.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's great way of approaching it. Like I always try to adopt the mentality that, the best is yet to come, and we're always evolving, so if you take on that approach, I think you'll be really, surprised by, and just be open to the way things can pop up. Right.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're not limiting this show to seasons. I'm not sure if we mentioned that in the little intro, but because seasons, it really feels too constricting.
Sure.
Especially with the time blur and the way things are. So we're just going to say, hey, this is season 2022, episode 1. And we're going to, see how many fun episodes we can get with the aim of, looking inward of our own personal journeys, especially, like the artistic stuff that I'm doing, and then giving it back to using that to give back to the Humble and Hungry community and other artists, other creatives, other people that want to find health. And I think, if we use those intentions, we'll be really good, and things will
I think we'll be good either way. But like, I agree that kind of furthering to your point, we don't want to be constrained with an episodic sort of like a 12-week run sort of episodes. We're just going to release content as we can, because we both have other stuff going on in our lives. And I'm glad that, V, you're kind of like on a consistent health tip, but for a little bit, it was a little bit rocky there for you as well. So, sometimes we have to shift our priorities. I have some personal stuff going on too with my family as well. So let's release those sort of restraints on ourselves and kind of release content as we can and as things are coming up. But kind of furthering to this too is, right now, even though I'm kind of working my way through a rut, that doesn't mean that it was a bad year. And like, maybe this is our chance to kind of look back at the 2021 and like highlight some of the high points. Even though a few days ago feels like a year ago, like let's try to rewind the clock and think back. And like, for me, one of the big highlights for Humble and Hungry was the music videos that we worked on, both of them, Rubik's Cube and Love Myself. But you have any opinions on those videos? First and foremost, do you feel the same way like I do?
Yeah, like I feel like those are huge successes. Like just big, like just from like, and I was having a conversation about it the other week too. It's just like being able to, with Rubik's Cube especially, and even Love Myself for that matter, is just like starting it like as a seed and like really seeing it through from, the song to conceptualizing a music video, and then with Rubik's Cube, really editing the music video, and then, working on marketing for it. And so it really was like a full project in the sense that it hit on various different aspects of things, right? From like marketing to music video development to the song itself. And there was a contest involved in there. And things like that. So
and mixing and just promotion and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And to see like being sort of recognized with some sort of awards and even nominations for them, like that does give like a sense of like a check mark, a feather in the cap to tie like a nice little bow on it. You're right. It was like a complete project. I really love that. And of course, the Arts for India. Arts for India, was that this year? Was that last year?
2021, yeah. In
that
May.
Feels like forever ago, but that was also a massive event, and I think it was a lot bigger than we even realized at the time.
Right.
That undertaking was we just kind of jumped into it, right? And we just kind of did it. But I think looking back on it, like that was a pretty significant thing that we just kind of threw together there. Do you have any thoughts on the Arts for India? Were you proud of that one?
Very proud of it, actually. I mean, and that was also in the conversation, like, look back as to, some of the successes and as much as I grow individually and through my music and, the awards and whatever, that's one aspect, but seeing like community involvement and seeing people showcasing artists, showcasing people who are doing really great things with health and healing. I think really both, like that was again like such a great feeling, because some of the people I met through that too, like, and some of the relationships really deepened from that.
Sure. Yeah. I still talk to a lot of people from that event that I never knew before. And I mean, not just locally, we had people from all over the world that were contributing to this.
Right.
I was very proud of that. I was very proud of that. And it was a grind, man. That was like 4 hours straight. Like we were just kind of in the lab there working, just like sweating it out and trying to come up with things to say. I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I feel like I want to, like, maybe, I don't know if like repurpose, but like maybe showcase some of the artists again, or like, Throwback Thursday or something, because I just feel like, and oftentimes with these projects, and I think this is why an episode like this is really important, to kind of bridge the 2 years and bridge everything, and kind of set intentions from a place of acknowledging where you've been, is like, when things pass, like they often get forgotten unless you make a effort to be like, hey, like that happened, and that was significant. And that was something that, should get more credit, because otherwise we live in this, age of everyone's on to the next thing, right? Like even as an artist, I'm like, oh, what do I have to do now? Like, and it's hard.
It's on to the next, right? The shelf life of stuff is so short, and you nailed it on the head. Because I even remember when we did it, even like at that time, within like a week or two, there was another big news event that shook the world. Like for a while there was like some major stuff happening. Now things seem to have like tapered off, jinx, knock on wood. But you're right. Like I don't think that in Reflect we did give it as much love as we could have. Not just us. I'm saying like the community. So maybe on the anniversary of the event, maybe we do a reflective, or we look back and re-push some of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, is like, because it was such a great event and like everyone brought such great energy, like that stuff is not going anywhere. It's on us to like, reuse it, rekindle it, and like just get the word out there. I think one of the things for me was, shortly after that, that's when I had like a huge flare. So I was I
remember
everything kind of, got halted there. So I was just like, okay, when that happened, I was, at a commission, so I couldn't really bridge it or, give it the love that it deserved. But that's why we're having this conversation.
But at the same time, I think we're being a little bit perfectionist, because it was a success. Like, let's not take anything away from ourselves. That was a good event. We just know, you and I just know that, hey man, we can do it bigger. We can do it even better next time around. So let's kind of table that there. We're in between seasons, so we're trying to upgrade our areas. I got this ring light going on, and V, before we jumped on, we were talking a little bit about the lighting thing. So I haven't completely figured that out yet. I'm trying to revamp my own studio space. V, you made some significant strides revamping your studio space. Last time I saw you, you were in your living room with your mom cooking behind you in front of like your china plates and shit. So tell me, what's the upgrade since we last saw you?
Yeah, like I've been working in like the studio here, like for my own music and stuff for like the last 2 years. But recently we got it painted, so it's crisp. Like before there was like scuff marks everywhere. There was like this old school like metal rack that took up like a good fourth of the room, or maybe a little less than that. But
you had your boxing thing there, right?
No, that's in the other main area. But this, it's just repainted. I repositioned the desk. I got another desk, got a bookshelf so things aren't scattered and I don't have boxes everywhere. Got another, like a stand for the piano, got like, my mic set up here, ring lamp. And like, so I'm working on like things in chunks. This wall here is going to have a big ups Mandela pattern that is going to be awesome for performances or podcasts. It's kind of barren here. I'm missing it. I'm visualizing it. People, if you're listening only to audio, visualize a beautiful mandala. But if you're seeing this video, like, I know it's a little bare, I'm sorry. But eventually.
So sorry, is this the corner room?
Yeah, this is the small corner room.
Okay, I thought it was the other room. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit more private. And I think this is necessary for you so you have your own energy and your own space that you can create there to really create, because I know this has got to be a big year for you, right? Like, what are some of your goals coming into this year?
That word again. No, I have tons of like envisions. Like I just really usually with like music and things like that, I really like to go with gut feels.
Well, let's start there. Let's start there with music. Have you put any thought about another album coming out, or are you doing singles, or where you're at there?
Yeah, like for now, I want to just create as much as I can and like be a guest and like collaborate with as many people as I can. I have a list of people I want to collaborate with. So I'm really excited about that. And actually, speaking of humble and hungry, remember Steve Andrew from Arts for India? He just sent me a track.
Cool.
So he wants to work on something. And anyhow, I envision, because some of my stuff, my music's like all over the map. It goes from like, the latest release is more indie rock or indie pop, and then of course like more of the classic hip hop. So I'm envisioning like a project that's really like hip hop focused with like duets, like from all the verses I did from duets, because again, to the point, like I feel like I have some really, really dope verses in there that maybe might have gotten overlooked, and I think they merit, or like they're worthy of a release.
Interesting.
So I want to put together maybe like a small project, whether it's an EP for that, and then I want to put like an EP for something that's a little bit more outside of the genre. So maybe if it's like dance or like electronic stuff and indie rock stuff, and like kind of like have a release like that and have a release like that. So I know it's a pretty big goal, but like maybe it doesn't have to be like a full length of each, maybe just an EP of each. But I want to create a lot of music. Like that's why I'm putting the work into the space.
I love the idea of the duets thing. I think that I love all your collaborations. Whenever you're working with another artist, you usually come up with pretty solid, dope verses. You know what I mean? So I do think that that's something that you should definitely explore. And I'm down with your experimental tip. I mean, like that's usually when you're at your best, when you're trying something new and creative. So
thanks,
it's not so bad, man. These are attainable goals. I think you can do that. No worries, right?
Yeah, I think I'm not putting any like goals that I'd love to hit a number of followers and a number of like YouTube subscriptions and all that. But I think just from like the intention of like creating more music and more visual content, I think that would be great. And kind of like we were talking about, and like some of the stuff that might help other artists, and like kind of a segue too is like, how can you not just like repurpose, but like be more efficient with the content you're putting together, right? So one of the things I was saying, we put two music videos. Well, if I have like these projects and I release them, and then I can start thinking, okay, well, maybe I can film this song and this song, like which songs have a music video, and like, and start saying like, well, maybe I'll film them together the same day.
Well, yeah. The reality is that you're still a struggling artist and money is still an issue, right? So if there's a way that you can maximize your resources, and let's take advantage of it. And I think that, coming into this year, this season, as we're kind of giving back, I think part of this learning progress that you're going through, these are going to be valuable tips that we can share to the audience about how to maximize your resources. Because exactly, man, if you got a good team that you can work with, but you're on limited time, and there's a way you can maximize it and maybe film 2 music videos instead of the one, get that content, stockpile it, work on it, and then release it when it's ready. But yeah, we got to figure out ways to make better use of our time, more efficient, more creative.
Yeah. So, I think that's just it is like, five ways.
is this to say that you're down for more music videos this year then too?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like, you know, maybe some of the songs are shorter, maybe they're, you know, like, and yeah, I think music videos are amazing. I think for me, they're just fun. Like it's just a fun way of expressing your art. Because I've always been like, you know, Dante and I, and our other friend James, we used to film stuff in like high school, and we really enjoyed that. So like for me, it's just like a really enjoyable process. Like I enjoy that. Like I enjoy like creating lyrics. Like it's similar, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of lucked out by coming up with good teammates to help work on this project. So hopefully we can continue working on them. And some other like irons are in the fire too, right? I sort of threw out some names of people that maybe can help us with video production as well. But yeah, so definitely for me, another one of the goals would be kind of piggybacking off of your career and like helping release some music videos as well. You know, I really enjoy that creative space as well. So put that on the list.
Yeah, definitely will. Like, and actually after this Zoom, or like at some point, like I'll tell you what you've heard, like some of the music that I'm working on. So like, I think there's like some concepts there that we can, you know, massage and start now. I think like one of the things, a great tip is like, you know, with your content, like when you're writing a song, think about the music video, like think about, you know, like, and that's how I know I'm doing good with a song, is like, I can see the music video while I'm working on the song, you know, like it's, I'm sure other artists will say the same thing too, you know?
Well, that just kind of speaks to how fleshed out your idea is, right? It's not just on paper, you can visualize it in your head. So yeah, that's great. So I know you did say that you're not completely focused on followers and stuff like that, but I think I am a little bit more focused on, I want to be at least a little bit more, maybe even hands-on on like the website and the social media part of it, and like how to make the site a little bit more user-friendly, or, you know, expand our traction there. So that is going to be one of my low-key focuses throughout the year as well, to try to build exposure, I guess. And I would also like us to maybe think about another charity event, or like another one of those type of streaming events, especially now that we're back in a new lockdown. Like, fuck it, we can't create anymore. I'm sure there's a lot of like frustrated artists out there. So we just need sort of like a cause that we can rally around, and maybe we can think about something like that. Maybe not immediately, but you know, that was a really good event that I would like to do it again.
Yeah. I think like I was even thinking like, should we have done a Christmas special or something like that? I think I'm sure it'll come together. I'm sure something will
There'll be some disaster that needs relief, you know. There'll be some people that need help, you know, that we can
yeah, well, I mean, we don't hope for that, but I mean, at the same time, excuse me, I think we'll find a way for all of us to come together, and you know, I just think people love creating art that helps people. So that'll be on the radar. Absolutely. And we'll keep it in the back of our heads and marinate on some ideas.
Perfect. Well, like let's wind this up. A couple other things I want to throw out there for us to do. Love to have more interviews. Love to have like reviews of video. I know V and I talked about little like 5-minute reviews of a song or a video. It doesn't have to be a whole episode, just like quick hitters, and just more content, man, more creative content. Maybe do a lot more writing on music as well. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff that I just kind of rattled off there, but nothing unattainable, right? We can do this one step at a time.
Yeah, I mean, this is how the process starts, right? Is just the starting of it, right? Like, I think, and it's funny because sometimes you think like, hey, I've done this before, I should be automatically able to just jump back in. But things in life, as we've seen, are like so unpredictable, and you know, sometimes re-establishing something is not as easy as you might think. You know, sometimes it is. Let's not, you know, fool ourselves. Like sometimes things are just like riding a bike, But other times it's like, you need the right circumstances, especially when you're working with a collective or you're working with a group. Everyone has to be on the same page. So I think the best thing, like, in kind of is, working on your own self-care, working on your own, making sure you're in a good space. And then when you're in a good space and, your teammate or your other people, your collaborators are in good space, then that's when you can come together and put together something great. And I think that's what we want to do with all of our work, from the music video collabs to the Humble and Hungry stuff, to the stuff that we do with the artists, to, to help them, coach them. One of the things actually I want to say before we go, I would love to do another Zoom meeting, like where we have like a town hall and get people, because I think that even though it was like really, unstructured and like kind of like really, just some ideas that I had, but that set the tone for the other events, right? Like some of the people who came out to that, they were really willing to participate in the Arts for India. So I think just other ways to involve people. And sometimes like a Zoom meeting, as, unplanned or unstructured as it is, gives people some time to like, voice their opinions, voice some of their hardships, whether it's music or, health wise, or like just combining the two. So that would be something I would like to do.
That's not a bad idea. Like an artist town hall, like a community town hall kind of thing, where artists can kind of come together and voice their concerns. And maybe like just knowing that they're not alone in facing these challenges will give them a little bit of relief too,
Yeah. And maybe even just because like, you're going through it, like being on the front lines every day. I've gone through my health stuff, obviously. And so I think like maybe even just like a town hall on like, mental health check-in, like, you know what I mean? Like art and mental health check-in. What do you think about that, viewers? Let us know in the comments. Let us know.
That's a great idea, V. That's a great idea. All right, well, let's table this because we don't want to run too long. But I want to thank you, V, for kind of throwing this idea out there so we can touch base on camera. I love doing this sort of stuff. So hopefully it's not too long before we're back in front of the camera again.
Awesome. Yeah, I thought it was a great show for the first time in a while, and I'm looking forward to more, and hopefully we can just re-engage and just pick it up quicker and quicker. So yeah, perfect. That was great.
All right, so thanks everyone for joining us in. Keep an eye on our social medias, not just at Vivek Memi and at _Mr. Edward Nigma, whatever that is, but also at the Humble and Hungry page, at Humble and Hungry Co. on social medias. We'll be posting anything that we're coming up with on those sites first and foremost. Check the Facebook page as well. And, hit us up anytime you guys want. And hopefully we'll see you guys again soon before you know it.
Yes. Peace.
Thanks, V. Take it easy, bro.